Alright, good morning everyone. Hello everyone and welcome. How's it all going today? I hope you're all doing well. And after yesterday's very fun and exciting Mass Effect Legendary Edition marathon, I hope that we are all ready to return back to regularly scheduled streaming of my ongoing game playthroughs, which we'll talk about in just a moment. We're basically just right back to where we had started, back to the normal scheduling. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my streams. Many things have happened over the last couple of days. Let's go through all of those things. First of all, on Thursday night, I received false copyright strikes against this channel, and it basically took down all of my panels below the channel with all of my information, which sucks, obviously. People were using those to navigate around different, ways to watch my content. A lot of people actually contacted me over the last day and said, oh, that's how I figure out how to tip and stuff. And, I haven't had a chance to sit down and redo all the panels because I've been so damn busy yesterday with the marathon. And this morning, paying a ton of bills. All right? Because, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't been following my Twitter, I do have an update for you. So yesterday, we had a crazy long Mass Effect 1 Legendary Edition marathon. 7 hours of gameplay. Overall, the stream lasted about 8 to 9 hours. It was a great time. We got through the entire early segment of Mass Effect. We're now ready to head out on the Normandy and start doing the real missions of the game. So it was good because in one sitting we got past all of the introductory stuff. When we play again tomorrow, yes, tomorrow is when the playthrough resumes, I'll be able to focus on just, development of the story. Okay? Now, people were incredibly supportive yesterday. Alright, I want to say thank you to anyone who was here and who contributed and helped me out in a very big way. I needed the help very desperately because, as I told you guys, today my mortgage is due. In 5 days, my back tax payment is due for the federal government. And I had to pay my car registration. If I didn't pay it in the next few days, they were going to say I didn't pay it overdue, and, that's a big problem. So I had all these things coming due within a few days with no real way to pay them because I was kicked out of the Twitch Partner Program last month, and Twitch had not responded to any of my requests stating if I was going to get paid for at least the few weeks that I was in the partner program last month. So, that's why I did this marathon yesterday. Thank you to everyone who did help me out. You guys absolutely did. Whether, people came by and just hung out and had a good time, whether I came and tipped $1, or people who came and tipped in a big way. Whatever you did, it helped out tremendously. I want you to know that, okay? Now, the good news is, let me put it this way. This is not bad news, but we didn't hit the support goal. The support goal that I set up for the stream yesterday was set up to pay everything that I owe in the next couple of weeks so that I would be in a good position moving into the next month. But it was an incredible amount to raise in one day. I personally was hoping for the best, but didn't know what was going to happen. All right, the good news is what I did raise helped tremendously. And the other good news is, overnight, as I was asleep, Twitch actually sent me a payment for my partner performance in April. It's not what I normally would make. In fact, I would tell you it's probably about roughly a third less than what I would usually make in a given month. Okay? So, obviously that's because they cut off my partnership on April 21st. There was still over a week left in the month. They refunded a bunch of people's subscriptions as well. So there was money that, essentially I would have earned and they gave it back. So they did pay me. It wasn't the full amount that normally I would get. It was a lot less, but they still paid me. So what I can tell you is, and I already said this on Twitter, but I'll say it here publicly on the stream, okay? For those who, between those who contributed yesterday and what Twitch did actually pay me, I have enough to pay everything that I needed to pay in the next week. All these very expensive things, the mortgage, the back taxes, the car registration, it's all taken care of now. All right? In fact, that's what I did this morning, because some people just said on the pre-stream, why didn't you fix your Twitch page? Why didn't you reset up your panels and everything? Well, I was streaming until 8 o'clock last night. I didn't get out of the office till after 9. I spent a couple hours with my wife. Then we went to sleep. And I woke up this morning and I said, oh crap, I got paid by Twitch. I can pay all my bills. So I sat here for the last hour making phone calls and or online payments, paying all my bills. So I didn't have a chance to do anything else. Okay? So that's good news, obviously. This is very good news. It means that the immediate crisis is averted. And now, for the rest of this month, I can stream normally. We can have a good time together. We can enjoy all these playthroughs that I've been playing. There may or may not be another new release or two by the end of the month. We can also focus on the upcoming Retro Replay event. All of this is great news. Okay? Very good. But, of course, this does not free up any kind of concern about the future. Much as I said last month when I lost my partnership. For me to be able to stay here on Twitch full-time like I've been doing for the last month since I lost my partnership, it essentially means two things. Number one, people need to contribute by tipping a lot. Let's be honest here. It has to make up for the fact of all that income that I used to get from subbing and cheering. And number two, people need to pledge to my Patreon. Now, admittedly, in the last 2 weeks, I have not had any time to work on my Patreon at all. I've been too busy with everything else. In short term, what did I do in the last week? I got the Better Twitch TV emotes set up for you guys, so now we all have emotes again. I got the command set up for Ask the King, which is going to be in 2 weeks, by the way, the upcoming Ask the King episode, the end of the month, for you to post up your questions. I got it set up so that you guys can now vote on the upcoming Retro Replay event. I did all that stuff behind the scenes. That was more pressing to get that stuff done than to worry about the patron stuff. Okay? Oh my god, excuse me. So, what I will say is this. Now is the time to focus on making Patreon more attractive to people who possibly used to sub to the channel. The question is, what can I do with my Patreon to do that? And that's really going to be us working this out for the rest of the month. One thing, obviously, is having a patron goal every month. Raising a certain amount on Patreon will be exactly the same as what it used to be with the sub goal. All right, right here. It used to be, get a certain amount of subs. It'll be raise a certain amount on Patreon every month, right? Now, the question is, what should be a goal? What would be a goal that would be attractive to people to make them pledge to patrons, right? Pledge to Patreon. I don't know. We're doing a Retro Replay event. That's already coming up. That's going to be starting either in late May or early June. What else? Should it be another different kind of fun marathon? Maybe the return of the Indies Marathon? Maybe the return of the Rageathon? What would be another good event that you guys would want to see? This is what we need to know. This is what I need to talk with you guys about over the next couple of days to weeks to try to figure this out so that we can set up Patreon properly. Because I know I've basically ignored it for 2 weeks. I was too busy with everything else. But now that we're past this hurdle, we're past the marathon, now I can sit down and focus on Patreon again. Okay? Twisted Devil Gamer says, why not exclusive content for patrons only? That's an easy answer. I would love to do that, and I can't. Because people have outright told me that if I ever were to do that, if I ever were to do patron-only exclusive content, that trolls would purposely pledge to my Patreon. One troll would do it. Let's say I made it exclusive. If you pledge $20 to my Patreon, there's exclusive content. One troll would pledge $20, get the link, and give the content to everybody. When I started on Patreon 6 years ago, this already was done. People said, no, fuck Phil. We don't like him, so therefore we're just going to ruin everything for him and give out all his Patreon exclusive content. So I could never do it. I could absolutely never do it. I always wanted to, and I was never able to do it. Okay? Because the thing is, if someone truly supports you, obviously they're going to pay for that exclusive access, and then they're not going to steal your content, rip it, and put it all over the internet, so it's not exclusive anymore. Right? So, I don't know, I can't really do that. I can't. Some ideas have been patron exclusive multiplayer events, but I've tried to do those in the past, and they didn't really work. Number one, because of the logistics of trying to organize time to do it with people all around the world, it doesn't usually work. What would happen is I would dictate, okay, we can only do it this day and time, and then people would always say, oh, I can't do it, this is unfortunate, and then they wouldn't pledge, or they would pull their pledge and say, well, that sucks, I can't be part of it. It's tough. And the other thing is, of course, again, trolls. They would purposely try to ruin the patron-exclusive multiplayer events. They would pledge just to get in and just sit there and troll and be shitheads and ruin the multiplayer experience for everybody. Okay? So, I don't know. I would love ideas on how this works. How, what would you like to see as part of Patreon? First of all, what would be a good monthly goal? We have 2 weeks left till the end of May, right? We have 2 weeks left. If I could find a reason to motivate people to pledge to my Patreon between now and the end of the month, that would be outstanding. If I could get a bunch of people to now pledge to Patreon, right, to make up for the fact that there's no more subscriptions on Twitch, that would help a lot. But the question is, what is the motivation? What could I do to motivate people to pledge to Patreon between now and the end of the month? What should be the, oh, by the way, King Trevslayer, yes, he says, I pledged last night. Shout out to King Trevslayer. I saw that. I checked it this morning, and he actually did pledge to my Patreon after the marathon stream had ended. So shout out to King Trevslayer for pledging to my Patreon. I wish there was a way to integrate Patreon into the streams, but from what I'm to understand, there isn't. There never has been a way to integrate Patreon pledges into the overlays, so I can't get a pop-up message to show up when someone pledges, which sucks. That would be cool if it could, because then we'd be like, oh, a patron, someone just pledged, and I could go check and shout it out, but apparently there's no real way to do that. I looked into it, and apparently nothing really works. So, it's kind of a manual process. I guess what I could do is check every day and see if there's a new person who pledged to Patreon. If there is, I could shout them out on each stream, right? But anyway. So yeah, right now what I need from you guys is your feedback. What would be a cool event, a special event that we could do, just like we used to do with sub goals. It used to be if we hit this many subs in a month, we're going to do a special event. Right now, the upcoming event is the Retro Replay, right? So what could be the next special event that you guys want to see that would motivate you to pledge to my Patreon to make it happen? That's the question. All right? And I'm not talking about personal things. I'm talking about an overall goal for the month. Like, for example, it used to be, oh, if I get 800 subs, we do a special event, right? So instead of that, it'll be if I raise, I don't know, $1,500 on Patreon this month, we'll do a special event. Because it's about the equivalent. Actually, it's less, actually, because I used to make about $2.50 per sub. So actually, that would have been about $2,000 a month. If they, we're kind of ballparking it here. But I'm just saying, and an example. But what would be a cool special event that we could do if we raise a certain goal on Patreon? So that's what I want to know. Do you want to see the return of the retrospective event? Do you want to see the Rageathon return? How about an Indies Marathon? What kind of stuff would you like to see as a result of us hitting a goal on Patreon this month? All right? And all of you saying cooking with the king, that's not going to happen. That's just not going to happen. I told you I'm not doing a cooking show. I've already explained this a million times. I'm not a cook. I'm not doing a cooking show. I'm not going to show stuff from my personal life outside of my streams because too many people do too many negative things with it. It's not happening. I've already explained this a million times that we're not doing it. Okay? I'm not saying... Now, if your idea was, hey, get the Street Fighter cookbook and read through it on stream and maybe try some of the items from the Street Fighter cookbook and bring them onto the stream to show them and maybe do a DSP tries it of the items from the Street Fighter cookbook, that's viable. That is a viable thing. Yes, that is viable. Because that way I don't have to show other things in my house. I don't have to try to get other equipment working. But as long as it's limited to this stream, okay, that's okay. But I'm not going to be crossing over with my personal life and having all kinds of fucked up stuff happen to me. All right? Okay. Baldy, if I flamed you for that idea yesterday, I apologize. I didn't understand it. There's a difference between, oh, actually go to your kitchen, somehow set up a bunch of filming equipment, film your family cooking together, just to have people tear it apart and be fucking disgusting and toxic. Or buy the Street Fighter cookbook, go through the recipes, find a recipe or two that looks good, actually cook it behind the scenes, and then do live DSP Tries It episodes trying said foods on the stream. That's different. That's very viable in my opinion. Okay? Okay. All right, so that's an idea. Do you think that would motivate people to pledge to Patreon, right? Do you think I say, okay, if we raise $1,500 on my Patreon by the end of May, if we have that much pledged, I'll buy the Street Fighter cookbook and I will do, 2 episodes of DSP Tries It based off of recipes in said cookbook. Something like that. And Ira says, no, not at all. See that? No, absolutely not. No one would pledge to your Patreon for that. You see? So there you go. It's like, There you go, right? All right. So anyway, let us summarize, everyone. Number one, I apologize that the panels are not on my channel because of false copyright strikes back on Thursday. I will do my best to get those panels back up as soon as possible, as early as tomorrow. Likely what I'll do is tomorrow morning. I'll try to get in here on the office a little bit, even on the earlier side, and try to reset up those panels again because they all got deleted. So I got to create them all from scratch. So hopefully I'll be able to do that. Okay? That's number one. All right? Number two. We are past the crisis of, the next week of being able to afford everything, thanks to the fact that, number one, you guys were so supportive yesterday during the marathon, and number two, that I did actually get paid for a portion of what I should have earned last month from Twitch's partner program. All right? So that's the good news. The bad news is, long term, if you want me to stay on Twitch, we got to make this viable. We got to find a way. And whether it's raising a lot of tips on every stream to make up for the fact that there's no more subbing or cheering, or whether it's making Patreon desirable to pledge to again, which I haven't focused on in many years. And that's what we really need to focus on between us here on the streams, is what can we do to make my Patreon more exciting? What kind of special events can I do? What would be a reason for people to pledge to my Patreon by the end of this month in the next 2 weeks to hit a goal so that I would do a special event? And what should that special event be? Should it be a retrospective marathon? Should it be a Rageathon? Should it be an Indies marathon? Should it be a special DSP Tries It event where I buy the Street Fighter cookbook and make 1 or 2 of the recipes from said cookbook and bring those onto the stream for live DSP Tries It episodes? Okay? So, these are all ideas. All right, these are all ideas. So let's brainstorm and let's see, okay? So let's talk about it over the next week or so, because I want to try to set this up. The thing is, I need to set this up relatively quickly. This can't be something that in the last 2 days of the month, there's a monthly goal now. Like, what? No one's going to rush to pledge to my Patreon in the last 2 days of the month. You see? So there you go. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the deal, all right? Thank you. Yesterday was amazing. By the way, the Mass Effect playthrough so far is great. Mass Effect Legendary Edition, it's not, let me put it this way. They didn't remake the whole game. Absolutely not, they did not. It's the same, exact kind of a deal, same plot lines. They didn't, they didn't tweak anything. It's all the same dialogue and everything. The combat is slightly changed, but not that much. Now every character can carry every weapon, rather than only being limited to class-based weapons. But the graphics are pretty good. I would say 60 frames really throws me for a loop to play Mass Effect in 60 frames. I've never done that before. And it just feels weird to be playing the game in 60 frames. It does. It looks so weird. But I gotta get used to it. Right? I have to get used to it. But I'm really enjoying it, and I'm very pleased that with 7 hours of gameplay yesterday, we got through the intro segment and all of the Citadel. We're done. We don't have to go back. I think there's maybe 2-3 missions over the course of the game that will appear at the Citadel now. But outside of that, we've done all the Citadel content, so we can focus on all the missions outside the Citadel for the rest of the game, which is great. I'm glad we got past all of that. Okay? Thank you to those who chilled with me yesterday. Thank you to those who supported me yesterday. All right, I appreciate that. Now, let's talk about the schedule for the rest of the upcoming week. Let's talk about the upcoming Retro Replay event. Let's talk about a lot of different stuff, all right? So today, we're back to regularly scheduled streaming. Today, it is the continuation of Returnal here on the first stream, which I'm very much excited for. We're going to try to beat the 3rd biome. I don't know if I will. I've seen the boss, okay? But I haven't killed it. I got to the 2nd phase and died. So hopefully today, I'll have a good run. I'll be able to get a lot of the great equipment that I need, get to the boss, and kick its butt. And I don't know. People are saying that once you beat the 3rd biome, essentially the game gives you a checkpoint, so now you don't have to go through the first 3 worlds anymore. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what people have told me. So I don't know what actually happens after you beat the 3rd biome. I guess we're going to see. Okay? Hopefully, I can do it today, and we can see the next part of the game. Okay? Later tonight, it is my weekly throwback session of old school Street Fighter, okay? I do this once a week. Usually it's Friday night, but this week we had to delay it because I did my marathon yesterday. So tonight, old school Street Fighter. I hope you will join me for some good beatdowns. 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, okay? Then tomorrow, Sunday, it is the continuation of Mass Effect Legendary Edition, and the good news about this is, yes, we're done with the Citadel. We're heading out on the Normandy. We're going to explore the universe together. It should be a good time. Hope you'll join me for that tomorrow morning. Tomorrow evening, it'll be the continuation of Danganronpa V3, which is my last stream of the week. We're in the middle of a clash trial where we're investigating not one but two different murders and trying to figure out how they went down. So it'll be very interesting in that regard because we've never done a double murder like this in the game yet. And I'm curious to see who's done. I have no clue who actually committed the murders or anything. I just have a couple hints. So I guess we're going to find out tomorrow night. Okay? Then I'm off from streaming on Monday. That's my day off for the week. I'll return on Tuesday with the continuation of Nier Replicant. Yes, Nier Replicant is going to now get another focus again as a main gameplay stream. I feel like I should do that because I'm trying to get through the side B run and get to the other runs. And if I only play it once or twice, it's 2 hours, right? I'm probably never going to beat it. So, yes, Nier Replicant returns on Tuesday as the main gameplay stream. The good news is we have big progress last stream. And we are well on our way to unlocking the B ending and then the C and D endings. Okay? MLB The Show will return to the streams on Tuesday night. It was supposed to be Thursday night, but I chose to focus in and finish Resident Evil Village instead. So now MLB The Show will be a late night chill stream that'll happen on Tuesday night. Okay? On Wednesday, it'll be the continuation of Returnal. Again, I don't know what's going to happen with Returnal today or what happens after you beat the third biome, but we'll continue on with the playthrough on Wednesday. Wednesday night will be new Pokemon Snap, a late night stream with 2 hours of progress in that. Thursday, more Mass Effect Legendary Edition on the main gameplay stream. And Thursday night, if all goes according to plan, will be Divinity Original Sin 2 continuing after taking that week off to focus on Resident Evil Village. Divinity 2 will return this coming week. And then on Friday, more Nier Replicant paired with my Throwback Street Fighter stream. Okay? Now, keep in mind, this is all subject to change. If anything, happens, I will let you all know, if anything changes. But for now, that's what we're looking at. All right, and I hope that sounds good. It's a good variety of stuff in the next week. Now, the final week of May, there's 2 games out that I'm interested in. One is called Biomutant, and the other is called Miitopia. Now, I don't think I want to play both because I'm still going to be in the midst of so many playthroughs. The question is, what should I play if I play either? One of them, I guess, is supposed to be some kind of, I don't know, an RPG hybrid Biomutant. I haven't seen a damn thing about the game, so I don't even know what it is. Miitopia, apparently you make Miis, and they actually participate in, like, this RPG-style game. I don't know. I see, the thing is, I've been so busy and so focused on what we're doing here that I haven't really looked into any of this stuff for the end of the month. I know next month's going to be fun, because next month we got games like Ratchet and Clank and stuff coming out. But at this point, I don't even know. Should I focus in on these or not? I don't know if these are games you guys want to see. I have to look into it. But Golden Cold says, Biomutant is a post-apocalyptic kung fu fable with a unique martial arts style combat system allowing to mix melee, shooting, and mutant ability action. What the fuck? Yeah. What the fuck is that? What is that? I don't even know. What? That sounds weird as shit. Maybe? Anyway. I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see what happens. Let me play games this week and I'll have to look into it myself. I don't know. That sounds like a weird shit. Is that worth $60? Actually, is it 60 or 70? I don't know. Anyway. So anyway, that's the stuff coming out by the end of this month. Alright? Alright. So there you go. Now, that's currently what's going on. Now, 2 things happening by the end of May. First of all, May 28th will be Ask the King. This is my bi-monthly Q&A show where you ask questions and I answer them live. You can answer questions in multiple ways. You can post them up on my forums, or the day of, you could actually post them up on my Twitter account, or if there's time, sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't, I take your questions live during the actual stream, right here from the stream chat, okay? So depending on what happens, that'll determine what we actually do during the Ask the King that day. But 2 weeks, to post up your questions. If you would like to, type !Ask the King into the stream chat. It'll bring up the link by which you can click on it and post up your questions on my forums, all right? By the way, if you are a patron of mine, if you went to patreon.com/DarksidePhil and you pledged $20 or more, you are eligible to ask a question on Ask the King and get it answered guaranteed. So if you were already a patron of mine this month, earlier on in the month, you already got instructions on how to do that. If you pledge $20 or more after that, you can message me either on Patreon or email me at darksidephil@hotmail.com and say, hey, Phil, I know Ask the King is now coming up. I'm interested. I want to post up a question. What do I do? Send me that info. I will talk to you and we'll get it worked out. I want to answer your questions on Ask the King. Okay? Fair enough? Okay. So, either post up your questions by typing !Ask the King in the stream chat, or if you're a patron, you get priority access. All right, I'm excited. I like the show. Can't wait to do it again in 2 weeks. Now, the other event that's going on is the Retro Replay event. This is when I'm going to replay a game from 2015 or earlier that I previously did a full playthrough for on YouTube. But in this case, it's going to be direct capture, live stream, face cam, live interaction with the stream viewers. So it'll be very different than the original playthroughs, okay? You guys nominated games for several weeks. And here is what we came up with. You ready? The Witcher 3: The Wild Hunt, which was actually 2015, so it just made the cutoff. Uncharted 2, God of War 3, Fallout New Vegas, Ninja Gaiden on the NES, the NES version, which I never beat, Alan Wake, and Resident Evil 6. Okay? So those are the games that you guys nominated. Now it is time to vote. So, how do you vote? Type !Retro Replay into the stream chat. That will bring up the link by which you can go and vote on which of those games you want to see me do a full playthrough of. That voting will be open until the final week of May, when I will tally up the votes and we will determine what game will really be the full playthrough. Now, the one exception here, if Ninja Gaiden wins, Ninja Gaiden is a short game. That game can be beaten in about 2 to 3 hours. The problem is it's incredibly difficult. All right? So what I would have to do is find a way to play it, and you know, I think it might be on the NES games that are on the Switch. It might not be. I don't remember. I'd have to look into it. I have to figure out a way to play it viably. But likely that would not be enough to do a full playthrough. It's too short. So if that's the case, then maybe what I would do is do that and then also do another playthrough at a future date or something like that. Okay? But I'm curious. I posted this up yesterday. I have no idea what people have voted for right now. Zero. Of course, it's only one day in. Now I'm going to start mentioning it on the regular. We're going to have a lot more people coming and voting on it. Quite frankly, I would be pleased with any of these games. All of these games are outstanding. Like Witcher, Uncharted, God of War, Fallout New Vegas, Alan Wake, Resident Evil 6. These are all good games, right? And I could see reasons why people would want me to replay any of these. For example, Witcher 3, incredibly lengthy, but incredibly well done and detailed RPG. We've had so many RPGs in the last 5 to 6 years that don't have this level of meaningful content. It's really cool to see one that has tons of meaningful content. You see? Uncharted 2, the game that took this kind of Indiana Jones-esque adventure and really put it on the map as a AAA franchise that was going to have longevity. It's a game that I only played back in the day with camera and looked like shit when I played it, so it'd be really cool to replay it. God of War 3, another one. Played that way back in the day when I was just using my camera. It's the last real God of War game from that franchise until they changed up the whole franchise with God of War back in 2018. So it really is the last kind of purist combat style God of War game. And to replay it with modern graphics and everything would be good. My original playthrough was a joke. I treated it as a complete joke. I didn't even use upgrades in my original playthrough. So it would be very cool to replay that for real. Fallout New Vegas, I think, kind of speaks for itself, okay? A game that I played twice already for YouTube, but people like the game so damn much they want to see me play it again. Has significant fun content, side missions. Also, you can play completely differently depending on your choices. Do you want to side with the Republic? Do you want to side with Caesar? Or do you want to side with Mr. House, right? It's cool that you can make those choices. And of course, the game also has significant DLCs that you can play as well. Alan Wake. Now, that's a playthrough that would be interesting, because I only played the game once ever when it first released as a new game. At that time, I hadn't seen series such as Twin Peaks, which the game takes a lot of references from. And in addition, I recorded that with a camera. It looked like shit. The playthrough, because it's in the dark and you're using a flashlight, the playthrough looked terrible. So to replay that game with direct capture and everything in a modern setting would probably be pretty exciting and way better than the original playthrough. And then, of course, Resident Evil 6. Very pertinent game right now because I just finished Resident Evil Village, and we were talking many times during the playthrough about the plot lines of Resident Evil, and that Resident Evil 6 was a game that a lot of people kind of crapped on because they felt that it was more of an action game than a horror game. It's a game I only played once ever when it first came out in 2012, and I would love to replay it again in a modern setting. Okay? So all of these games make perfect sense to me. I would enjoy any of those playthroughs, so I would love for you guys to vote, please. And let's see what wins and go from there. Now, the voting will continue over the course of the next 1 to 2 weeks, and probably around the end of this month, we will determine the winner, and that game will become an ongoing playthrough. First, it's going to be a marathon. At first, I'm going to do a marathon event, where just like I did yesterday with Mass Effect, I play the game for like 6, 7, 8 hours, all in one sitting. And then that game will become an ongoing playthrough that I will do, in my schedule. Okay? Fair enough? Keever says, well, we want games you won't enjoy. Well, if that's the case, like I said, we're thinking of ideas for Patreon. Rageathon, right? Do you guys want to see another Rageathon event? Will that motivate people to pledge to my Patreon? Then we could do it, right? That's what I'm saying. Okay. Good stuff, guys. So that's the deal. That's what's going on. We got a regular schedule of streaming over the next week. That's now set up. We've got two events in the future lined up, the Retro Replay and Ask the King. Right? We got ongoing playthroughs, good stuff, and thank God the immediate crisis is averted and we can just go back to normal scheduled regular streams and have a good time together. Now, of course, long term, we got to figure shit out. The same thing, obviously, is going to happen next month, so we got to figure out what can we do to get people to pledge to Patreon and keep supporting the streams, etc. That's what we're talking about, all right? But for now, we're good. We can enjoy Returnal today and have a good time, kind of breathe a big sigh of relief, right? Fair enough. Sexy Jutsu says, was this the first time Twitch has ever paid me on a Saturday? I was thinking about this overnight, and I think one other time maybe ever did they ever pay me on a Saturday, and it was many years ago. Typically, Twitch always pays on a weekday. They don't want to process payments over the weekend. I have no idea why my payment came overnight. Like, it came at 5 in the morning. You saw I posted the email up on Twitter. And by the way, all right, let's get the elephant out of the room. This is fucking hilarious, all right? So I always tell you guys, the reason that I don't try to bother with trying to show evidence of anything that I'm accused of, if I try to prove my innocence, I say, well, I'll show you evidence, and people will just move the goalpost or say that it's fake, right? So that's why I don't bother with it. So at 5 a.m., I'm asleep, and apparently Twitch sends the money. I wake up this morning, there it is, I transfer it to my bank account, I pay bills, etc., and I post up on Twitter, here's the evidence that this happened overnight, this is good news, and I post up the capture of the email showing it's like 4:58 a.m. or whatever. The payment came through. Okay? So I'm all happy about it. Oh, you're a liar. You doctored that. What? See what I mean? What the point is? There's no point in me ever trying to disprove the conspiracy theory bullshit these idiots say, because when you're presented with definitive proof of something, they don't care. They then, oh, well, he photoshopped it. He made it up. He held that email for 3 days, and now he posts it up as if it happened now. You're out of your fucking minds. I just don't care anymore. I just don't care anymore. I really don't. There's just no point in trying anything. There's, people who like my content and people who trust me as a person because I've been one of the most transparent people out there. In over 12 years I've been a content creator, are going to say, okay, this is great news for Phil. Positive news. Now we can get back to normal. And then everyone else out there who's a shithead conspiracy theory fucking loser who believes every piece of bullshit drama nonsense will never believe a word I say. So why do I care to even post up the fucking email? Because I knew it. I said, I guarantee you, even posting up this definitive evidence, they will say it's fake, and that's exactly what happened. Oh, he made that up. Oh, you see, he edited that. Oh, he actually got that 3 days ago. Fuck you. There's no point anymore. There's just no point anymore. They have gone so far over the deep end that there's no point in even trying. So, for those who wanted to be happy, great, be happy with me, because I am. I'm pleased that now I can breathe a sigh of relief, at least for the next week, right? But these idiots, I mean, they never let up, man. They never fucking let up. It's always another thing. It's always another excuse. Why doesn't Phil post evidence of this and this? Because there's no way I could show anything of evidence, because you will always say it's a lie, so what's the point? People are just out of their fucking minds. Westside Rascal, I can't show you a date, because when an email comes within 24 hours, it only shows a time, not a date. There's no way I could show you a date. There's no date associated with that email, because it's just a time in your phone. I captured exactly what it shows. So how about this? Stop being a shithead, and either believe me or don't, but stop asking for unreasonable bullshit. So ridiculous. Okay. So anyway, guys, it is what it is. Thank you. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh yeah, there's one story I want to talk about today. Well, first of all, you guys know, if I barely ever touch upon this anymore. You guys know, if you contribute to the stream, I give you a shout out. If you tip me, that's the best way to contribute. But also, if you pledge to my Patreon, if you pledge to my Patreon, you let me know, I'll give you a shout out. I'll check it, and if you're pledged, I'll give you a shout out during the stream as well, just so you know. But yeah, our goals are in effect. At $50, I'll put on the Gunner glasses. At $100 of tips, I'll put on a vest of your choice. Yesterday, it was the platinum vest and then the denim. So I would say today we'll do any other vest but platinum and denim. All right. And you know, I always give you guys recommendations. Please try to protect your identity. Disassociate yourself. Or if you're going to contribute, don't make it a name that you use other places. Try to hide your identity, because these idiots will try to be harassing on the internet if you contribute to streams. Okay? All right. The one news story I want to talk about this morning. I want to see how people react to this. All right? I want to see how you guys react to this live. Okay? So, it was announced this morning by supposedly someone in the game development community that the upcoming Bethesda exclusive release, Starfield, will be an Xbox console and PC exclusive. It will not be coming out for the PlayStation 5, at least at launch. Okay? Now, what is your initial reaction to this? I would love to hear all of your initial reactions to this. First of all, Olapet says, of course it will. Ricky says, as expected. Crowless says, it's going to be garbage. Powerful 7 says, who cares? Crazy Dream says, who cares? Diligent Doge, no one's shocked about this. Timbo Slice says, well, yeah, they're now owned by Microsoft. Makes sense. It's going to be shit anyway. Well, Xbox actually needs an exclusive. So there you go. Don't care. Ellipsian says, deserved. Sony's starting to become like Nintendo. Interesting. So, alright. So there you go. Oh, there you go. They paid $7.5 billion. It's their right. Alright, so here's all the... This is interesting. I like this. It's variety of reactions. I enjoy seeing your reactions to something like this. Okay, here's my reaction. Who cares? We don't know anything about Starfield. This game has apparently been in development with Bethesda for how many years now? 5, 6, 7 fucking years? They've been saying, Starfield, Starfield, Starfield. Okay, what the fuck is Starfield? What is it? What kind of a game is it? It could be an epic open-world RPG set in space. It could be a turn-based RPG that's, you know, a throwback to classics. It could be a first-person shooter. It could be a tabletop card game. It could be fucking thumb wars, thumb wrestling. Who fucking knows what the game is? They haven't told us anything. Zero. They've told us nothing at all. We know absolutely nothing about the game. They have kept this under wraps for so long, yet every year they say, oh, don't worry, Starfield's still under development. I don't care. Until you tell me what it is, and until you tell me if it's something I'm going to be interested in or not, I don't care what it is. I really don't care. You know, it's kind of like the ultimate tease. Like, just because it's Bethesda making it, I'm supposed to like it or care about it. No. Sorry, but in reality, when you look at the track record of these big AAA development companies, right, the games that seem to be hyped the most end up being the worst. Bethesda recently gave us huge stinkers, right? Fallout 76, who the fuck is going to forget that fuck up, right? No, I'm not to say that there aren't games that I like from Bethesda. There absolutely are. But until you tell me what this game is, I don't care what it comes out on. I don't care if it's on Xbox, PC, fucking Game Boy. I don't care if it's on the Commodore, the Amiga. You know, I don't care if I could play it on an Abacus. I just want to know what it is first. Then maybe I'll start to care. Okay? So, yeah, you know, like, it's hilarious that this is news. And everyone, by the way, everyone on social media is talking about it, freaking out about it. I'm like, why? Why are we caring about something we don't know anything about? Like, it just makes me... The hype machine around video games is insane. People latch on to stories and hype like no tomorrow, and they just go crazy over shit. So now what you have, on one side, you got the Xbots. Ha 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 ha. Finally, we have a giant exclusive, and we're going to get one up on the Sony fanboys. And then on the other side, you got the Sony PS5 fanboys, the PlayStation Nation. Oh, this is bullshit. That's not fair. Well, I bet the game will suck anyway, man. It's like, how about no one care until they actually tell you what it is? Like, that's what I don't get. People always getting so worked up about something when we don't even know what it is. The game's been in development for so long, and for us to not have even an iota of information about what it is, that to me is concerning, actually. You know what I mean? Like, that's actually a reason to be concerned that we don't know what the game is yet, after how many years of game development. And yet Bethesda still pushes it and hypes it like it's something big. Every year, there are big announcements of games that they have developed. Oh, Starfield's still coming. What is it? It could be a fucking toaster. It makes toast with the Bethesda logo on it. I don't fucking know what it is. Now, as for me playing Starfield, I would hope that by the time the game comes out, which, by the way, there's no way it's going to be this year because we still don't know what the fuck the game is. But hopefully by the time it comes out, I'll have an Xbox Series X, you know? Like, hopefully I'll be able to have an Xbox Series X and we won't have this kind of an issue anymore. It won't be a big deal. I've always been a multi-platform guy. I'm not someone who only will play on one console. I'm more than happy to buy all the equipment and play on whatever, you know? It just so happens this unique situation where people have not been able to get their hands on the consoles because of shortage of supply and everything. So, you know, I will eventually get the Xbox Series X, and it's not going to be a big deal at all. But the amount of insane spin and hype and fanboyism that I see put behind a game that we don't even know what it is ludicrous, in my opinion. Ludicrous. I don't know why people get this worked up about shit. Okay. Alright. Does anyone else have any other topics you want to talk about, or any other stories before we adjourn so I can take my break, use the bathroom, etc.? I just want to get, you know, I talked about everything I wanted to talk about, but I want to make sure I didn't miss out on anything, or there's no hot topics that you guys want to address before we get settled here into Returnal. Okay? What's for dinner today? My wife is making her gumbo. Yes, gumbo. When I get a Series X, will I get Game Pass? Likely yes, considering the fact that the Game Pass system will have incredible value, right? It will have new releases included. It'll have ongoing access to older games. It just makes sense to have Game Pass. What is it, $20 a month, I think? I mean, $20 a month, $240 a year, and you're going to get a ton of exclusives. You're going to get all this stuff. I mean, yes, absolutely. When I get an Xbox Series X, I will be jumping on Game Pass. It just makes sense. There's long-term value there. Battlefield confirmed not a Game Pass game, so the next Battlefield will not be on Game Pass. Okay. I don't care about Ninja signing deals with Powerade. Who the fuck cares? No, there is no okra in the gumbo, but we eat it over rice. Our gumbo is shrimp, andouille sausage, red peppers, a roux that my wife makes is a combination of different ingredients. I think it might have beef broth in it. I'm not sure. She makes it, not me, but she puts a bunch of spices and things to make this roux. And then she throws everything in it and it all simmers in the roux, and then we pour it over rice. That's how it is. We don't have okra. No. In fact, our local stores don't even sell okra. We wouldn't be able to get it even if we wanted it. Oh, okay. I'm actually being told that Game Pass is $15 a month, so it's actually an even better value. Yeah, E3's next month, right? See, now we need to start planning for the E3 stuff, right? We gotta start planning for how I'm gonna cover E3. I always cover it. Last year there was no E3, so those plans got dashed. This year we gotta see, when is E3? What's the timing of the digital events? Because what I'd like to do is watch the digital event with you like I always do, and then afterward immediately do my reaction stream. It's always a good time. I always have fun doing that. So I would absolutely like to do that again this year. But got to figure out when it is. I know it's in early June. I just don't know when. I got to sit down and take a look at all this. Okay? It's going to be a good time. Always the E3 stuff is a good time. Who won this console generation? If you're talking Xbox One and PS4, PS4 hands down. PS4 sold more units. We still don't even have solid numbers on how many Xbox One sold. Microsoft was so embarrassed that they were lagging so behind PlayStation, they never released most of their numbers over the course of the console generation. So, PlayStation 4 absolutely sold way more than Xbox One, had way better console exclusives. Yeah, absolutely. If you mean current console gen, PS5 and Xbox Series X, there's no way you could determine. There's not even enough console exclusives to make a determination between the two at this point. We have to wait and see because of this unique circumstance of what happened in the last year. That's true, though. The true winner is mobile. The true winner is mobile. Mobile gaming. Mobile gaming, free-to-play gaming, microtransaction gaming. They have completely and utterly dominated everything. Just insane. Do I think E3 will survive next year? I have no idea. I guess it depends on how this year goes. Again, as I said, I don't even understand why they're even saying E3 exists because it really doesn't. Like, does E3 really exist? No. Not at all, actually. If you take a look, right, E3 is just a bunch of digital events happening at once. But they could have just done their own digital events. So I don't even understand why people are pretending like this is a real E3. It's not. I can't wait to download the app and walk around the virtual showroom floor. It's going to be very exciting. All right, let's get to shout-outs then. Shout out to Super Batcat, who tipped me $7.55, says, sorry that I missed your marathon yesterday. It's cool. Now, here's the thing. Super Batcat was actually one of the people. He actually messaged me behind the scenes. He's like, dude, all your panels are missing from your Twitch page. How do I tip you? All right, and I'm like, well, there's many ways. Number one, you can just type !tip into the stream chat. Number two, you can take a look at the description of one of my YouTube videos where I post up the link to tip me. Like, there's other ways to get around it, even though it's not on the dashboard. All right? Now, I will do my best to get those back up. I will. I understand. There's people who come to the streams. Oh, I want to contribute quick today. Oh, it's not there. What do I do? Thank you for the tip, Super Batcat. And it's totally okay if you couldn't make it yesterday. Today we're back to business as usual. Thank goodness. Kang tipped me $1.30. He says, do you have a cryptocurrency wallet? Fans can send crypto too. I don't use a lot of flat or fiat money. It would be much easier to send you Doge, BAT, or Ethereum. No. There's two reasons why. First of all, the value of those constantly fluctuates. And even though you might say, oh, today it's great, in a week it might be worth nothing. It's basically risk. It's an investment. That's not a good thing to be dealing daily dealings with. This is income that I depend on to pay my bills. I can't have that income now be valued at zero tomorrow. All right? So that's number one. Number two, cryptocurrency actually is very different when it comes to tax regulations. All right? When I get paid for any kind of revenue from YouTube or Twitch, that's just considered standard income that is taxable, and I pay normal taxes on it. When you guys tip me, that's also considered miscellaneous standard income, and it's taxable in a certain way. Cryptocurrency apparently has these weird ways that taxes are determined, and apparently if I were to get cryptocurrency, it would create an insane amount of microtransaction work to do my taxes on. At least that's what my tax guy told me. He says, yeah, did you do any cryptocurrency stuff? I'm like, no. He's like, all right, good. Good. Especially this year with what's happening with cryptocurrency, how the values are skyrocketing. Basically, everything's changing on a daily basis, and no one really knows what's going to happen with tax codes and shit for this. So, I don't want to mess with this. I don't want to mess with this. I just want to deal with regular standard income that's easy to work with. So, no, I'm not going to mess around with cryptocurrency at this point. Okay? Snow Carl tipped me $1.30. I love how all idiots prove you right. You post proof that Twitch paid you at 5 a.m. today, and they still cry, oh, it's fake. If you had wanted to lie, you would have just said they didn't pay you at all. And you're right. If really this was a situation where I was lying all along, right? Why wouldn't I have just said that I never got paid? Right? Why would I be honest? I want to celebrate with you guys and say, listen, thank you for the support. The good news is the short-term crisis is over. We can all kind of breathe a sigh of relief together. You know, because I'm honest, I want everyone to have that relief. I don't want people thinking that behind the scenes things are terrible and I can't pay stuff when now I can. I'm not a liar. I would never do that. But these idiots think that I am because they just want to believe that. They want to believe whatever, their own negative conspiracy theory bullshit. You're absolutely right. I could have just said, no, they didn't pay me. And no one would have been the wiser. Why would I? But why? I'm not like that. But that's what I mean. These people are fucking assholes. They'll say whatever they want. They're shitheads. Okay. Okay. Alright, guys. Anything else? Tuck Lee, no, I didn't. I did not confirm anything. You are full of shit. I never confirmed anything. Queen Defender, right now I'm good for the immediate future, meaning the next 1 or 2 weeks or so. I should be alright. Basically, as long as I keep making consistent income on my streams, like I have been recently, and nothing changes, I should be alright. Right now, between the payment from Twitch and what I made yesterday, I can pay my mortgage, I can pay the back taxes, and I'm good for, you know, basically the week. And then after that, whatever I make in the next week goes and pays for the next week's stuff, you see? That's how it's always been. The problem was all of a sudden there was a giant missing payment that normally I would get and it wasn't there. So, you know, right now we're okay. Right now we're okay. If anything changes, I'll let you know. But yeah, for now I'm good. There's no looming crisis or anything. Okay? Fair enough? Okay. Fire Sauce, yesterday was very chaotic, and I will say this publicly. Yesterday was very chaotic. If you guys didn't notice, we had an incredible amount of trolling on the stream. For a reason that they wanted to ruin this very important marathon for me. If you didn't notice, Thursday night I got hit with false copyright strikes. They tried to shut the channel down. That didn't work. So then every troll under the sun tried to come by the stream yesterday and flame and destroy and be assholes. Okay? The moderators did their absolute best. Yes, they did make some mistakes and some people did get mismoderated by accident. On the fly, we tried to fix that. I hate to say it, but some people try to over-dramatize it. Like, for example, one message from They Call Me Jim Bob was accidentally deleted. He wasn't even timed out. A message was accidentally deleted. It was a misclick. And everyone freaked out. Said, oh, they banned Jim Bob. They banned Jim Bob to make me pause in my marathon to figure out what's going on. I'm like, Jim Bob's not banned. What it is these people are shitheads. They come in here and they want to derail my stream. All right? So they will try to make everything be over-dramatized. When they do that, now the moderators are going to wonder what's going on. And you're going to have, the thing is, my moderators are human just like everyone else. Yes, someone might misclick. Yes, someone might misjudge. It's fine. We get it fixed on the fly. It all works out. There's no case that all of a sudden 400 people were accidentally banned. That the shit doesn't happen. It's bullshit. It's, again, the same shitheads who are trying to make it so that I cannot do what I love for a living are here trying to ruin my streams for people. And it makes moderation very difficult. So I want to give a big shout out. I do want to be a big shout out to my moderators for doing the best they absolutely can. All right? It's not their fault if things sadly get fucked up to the point where there's so many people in here trolling. all right, that you can't really keep tabs on it, all right? Just being honest, it's kind of, I feel it's messed up that people want to try to make moderators out to be villains when they're just trying to do their best that they can, you know? Now, here's the other thing, too, and I will say this. There are people in here who are regulars, and they purposely try to push the limits of what they can get away with, all right? And maybe on a normal day, right? Maybe on a normal day, that would have flown. Yesterday was, you knew yesterday was going to be a day when there was going to be a lot of assholes in here, right? Why would you choose that to be the day that you're going to try to fuck around and say stupid shit and push the limits? That's really your fault. Like, you should have known better than to try to now, oh, I'm going to say a lot of risque shit now. That's just like, you know, I'm really dancing on the razor's edge today. That was not the day to do it. That was really stupid. Okay? So, apologies all around. All right? Apologies all around to everyone who maybe was mismoderated yesterday, and or if you feel that a mistake was made, you can always contact me behind the scenes and I'll take care of it. I already unbanned like 2 people this morning, and, you know, it happens. But it was a very, very stressful, very, very high trolling stream. There was, you know, we had to do what we could to try to keep it under wraps, try to keep it under control. Yes, mistakes were made, but it's all in the past, and now we move forward positively. All right? Okay. Nezuko tipped me $3, said, I'm curious, why don't you ever pick a female character when available in Mass Effect? I always pick them. I think females barely get any reception as a protagonist or main character. Oh, I do. I have. Over the years, I've definitely made females as main characters in various playthroughs where you can create a character. I mean, the thing is, there's not many games where you can do that anymore. Most games, it's always a pre-established character now, right? But, for example, Saints Row. Always in my Saints Row playthroughs, both Saints Row 3 and 4, I made a female character as the protagonist. When I replayed Mass Effect as a Renegade run many years ago, I think that was like 2013, 2014, I did a Femme Shep run in that one. So it's not that I've never done it, it's just in this case, I wanted to replay the game, recreating my character in the new creation engine. I knew that they had revamped the character creation engine, and I wanted to see this time around, could I actually make a character who kind of looks like me, which I think I kind of succeeded at. He certainly doesn't look exactly like me. I think he's kind of ugly. I'm ugly too, so I guess maybe he does look like me. But the point I'm making is, this is very different from the original playthroughs that I did, you know, 10 years ago, 11 years ago, and then the one I did like 7 years ago. This is trying to make it more modernized for me. So I wanted to make the modern Phil in the game, you see? I'm not saying that I would never make a female character moving forward. That's not true at all. Just that in this case, this was an opportunity to me to see, gee, many years later, Legendary Edition, how have things changed, right? So there you go. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time for our break. Let's take a break. It'll take about, 10, 15 minutes for me to use the restroom. And then we'll come back and start up with Returnal again. I hope we can beat the third stage. I did unlock the shortcut to the end of the third stage, so hopefully it'll be a much shorter trek to the boss, and we'll beat the boss and see what else is in store for us in the game today. Keep in mind, it might take a while because you got to go through that first level first, but I'm excited. And I hope you guys are excited too. Returnal right around the corner. Take this opportunity to get a drink, a snack, use the restroom yourselves, whatever you need to do. And I'll see you in a few minutes for the continuation of Returnal. All right, guys? Thank you. See you in a few. I'm a hipster in Seattle, and I dye my hair green. I got 14 earrings in my lip, and a giant spacer on my ear. I shave half of my head, and I comb over the rest of the hair over the bald side. Oh, baby, yeah, get me my caramel double shot macchiato espresso, and my beard oils. Yeah, my beard oil. I need it for my giant Paul Bunyan beard. And also a pair of glasses that have absolutely no use because there's no lenses in them. They're only there for show. A hipster in Seattle. Here we go.
Thank you, Stepan. very heavy, heaviest of rain. Just the rain has lots of mass and weight and volume. The rain is very heavy, heaviest of rain. Just the rain has lots of mass and weight. The rain is very heavy, heaviest of rain. Just the rain has lots of mass and weight. The rain is very heavy, heaviest of rain. Just the rain has lots of mass and weight and volume. The rain is very heavy, heaviest of rain. Just the rain has lots of mass and weight. The rain is very heavy, heaviest of rain. Just the rain has lots of mass and weight. The rain is very heavy, heaviest of rain. Just the rain has lots of mass and weight. The rain is very heavy, heaviest of rain. Just the rain has lots of mass and weight and volume. The rain is very heavy, heaviest of rain. Just the rain has lots of mass and weight, 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 of mass and weight. The rain is very heavy, heaviest of rain. Just the rain has lots of mass and weight. The rain is very heavy, heaviest of rain. Just the rain has lots of mass and weight. The rain is very heavy, heaviest of rain. Just the rain has lots of mass and weight. The rain is very heavy, heaviest of rain. Just the rain has lots of mass and weight, mass and weight, mass and weight. The rain is very heavy, heaviest of rain. Just the rain has lots of mass and weight, mass and weight, mass and weight. The rain is very heavy, heaviest of rain. Just the rain has lots of mass and weight, mass and weight, mass and weight. The rain is very heavy, heaviest of rain. Just the rain has lots of mass and weight, mass and weight, mass and weight. The rain is very heavy, heaviest of rain. Just the rain has lots of mass and weight, mass and weight, mass and weight. The rain is very heavy, heaviest of rain. Just the rain has lots of mass and weight, mass and weight, mass and weight. The rain is very heavy, heaviest of rain. Just the rain has lots of mass and weight, mass and weight, mass and weight. The rain is very heavy, heaviest of rain. Just the rain has lots of mass and weight, mass and weight, mass and weight. The rain is very heavy, heaviest of rain. Just the rain has lots of mass and weight, mass and weight, mass and weight. The rain is very heavy, heaviest of rain. Just the rain has lots of mass and weight, 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 mass and weight. Oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck! Boom! Kill that motherfucker. Pedestrian squish. And he was stuck on my car. Here we go, making my move. And he hits me. Nothing I can do. T-bone me. T-bone again. Nothing I can do. We really wish I could T-bone people. There, fuck you. What the fuck? Yo, where did he even come from? He came from off the screen and T-bone. Well, come on, I'm tired of getting fucking T-bone, man. Every 2 seconds. Here we go again. I barely grazed the wall. Complete destruction. What a good start. Yeah, I still with the pedestrian. I barely grazed the wall. Complete destruction. Fucking straight up murdered him. That was fucking brutal. Oh my god, this guy, get the fuck out of my car. Oh. Come on, go, go, go. Boosh. Fuck out of my way. Get the fuck out of my way, asshole. Here we go. Bonus stage. Oh shit, it's gonna crash. Oh my god, I'm gonna qualify. It is crashing on me. Oh god! I qualified.
barely grazed the wall. Complete destruction. What a good start. And I killed a pedestrian. I barely grazed the wall. Complete destruction. Probably straight up murdered him. I wrecked and now I'm winning. Explain that one.
Winning.
Whatever you say, dude. He took the plunge.
Do a barrel roll.
What?
Do a barrel
Whatever
roll.
you say.
Do a barrel. Do a barrel.
Okay.
Do a barrel roll.
What?
Do a
Double side flip.
do a barrel. Do a barrel. Use the brake.
I couldn't do anything about it. He died. Well, I could have went either way. Instead, I went right in the middle and got fucked up like an idiot. Whatever, man. That was stupid. I take off like an astronaut, jumping on the moon. I'm so high. Yo, he still didn't land. Whoa! Woohoo! I barely grazed the wall. Complete destruction. Probably straight up murdered him. I barely grazed the wall. Complete destruction. What a good start. And I killed a pedestrian. What the? I barely grazed the wall. Complete destruction.
Use the brake.
I am dead. There we go.
Shitty game, shitty player, shitty commentary.
Wow. That's all I gotta say. Wow. Uh-oh, I'm gonna let the soul swim free. Who let the souls out? 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 Swimming with the souls. Oh yeah. Swimming with the souls. Like a little tadpole. Oh yeah. Swimming with the souls. Swimming upstream with the bass. Swimming with the souls. Like a little tadpole. Oh yeah. Like a little tadpole. Like a little tadpole. Oh yeah. Who let the souls out? 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 We have a tug of war with chains, huh? Dodge those chains, find a better son. Dodge those chains, find a better son. Dodge those chains, find a better son. You beat your ass with that big ass chain. Every time I get hit, I fall in the fucking pit. Trying to dodge it, can't do shit. Every time I get hit, I fall in the fucking pit. Come on, I fucking dodge that shit. Every time I get hit, I fall in the fucking pit. Trying to dodge it, can't do shit. Every time I get hit, I fall in the fucking pit. Trying to dodge it, can't do shit. I'm the god of the dead now, bitch. I'm the god of the dead now. Oh yeah. I'm the god of the dead now, bitch. I'm the god of the dead now. Oh yeah. Who let the souls out? 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 Bitches just don't know. Trying to fuck with the Lord of War. Bitches just don't know. Bitches just don't know. Trying to fuck with the Lord of War. Bitches just don't know. Trying to fuck with the Lord of War. Bitches just don't know. Trying to fuck with the Lord of War. Bitches just don't know. Bitches just don't know. Give me my bonus souls, bitch. Give me my bonus souls. Oh yeah. Give me my bonus souls, bitch. Give me my bonus souls. Oh yeah. Give me my bonus souls, bitch. Give me my bonus souls. Oh yeah. Who let the souls out? 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 Oh, fuck you. Not you, this guy. Not you. This guy over here. This guy. Oh, fuck you. Not you, this guy. Not you. Oh, fuck you. Not you, this guy. Not you. This guy over here. This guy. There we go. You're not dead yet? Here, I'm the third then. Fuck you, you dumb shit. Who let the souls out? 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 Who let the souls out?
The Rock Lords. The Psychonauts. And all the other third-rate transforming robots that never got their due. Ah! Here we go. Rock and roll. Go, go, go. 80s hair metal, baby. Platformer. Woo! Platformer. Yeah. Platforming. Platforming. Platformer. Woo! Platformer. Come on. Monkeys will jump across the pipes and the wing. Platformer. Oh shit, X and A together does a wide attack? Look at that attack. Ooh. Barrel roll. X for stun charge attack. X and Y. Damn, he's got some pretty good combos. Get the fuck out of here. Platformer. Woo! Platformer. Yeah. Platforming. Platforming. Platformer. Woo! Platformer. Come on. Monkeys will jump across the pipes and the wing. Platformer. And he searches behind it. What a twist. DJ Circus, son. A face melting solo on top of a sun mothership. Woo! Go on, brother. Woo! Fire! So sick. Hair metal, this is so good. Platformer. Platformer. Pretty standard platforming. 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 Platformer. Yeah. Platformer. Yeah. Monkeys will jump across the pipes and the wings and get to an escape pod. Woo! Platformer. Platforming. Platforming. Platformer. Come on. Monkeys will jump across the pipes and the wings. Platformers. That was a fucking badass song. I gotta get that song. Decapitation! Thugs on the floor, we got a thug on the floor. Thugs on the floor, we got thugs on the floor. Thugs on the floor, we got thugs on the floor. Shoot 'em in the face, cause it's thugs on the floor. Thugs on the floor, we got thugs on the floor. Shoot 'em in the face, cause it's thugs on the floor. Thugs on the floor, we got thugs on the floor. Beat 'em with the gun. Shoot 'em in the face, cause it's thugs on the floor. Beat 'em with the gun. Shepherd on the floor, it was Shepherd on the floor. Shoot 'em in the face, cause he's on the fucking floor. Shepherd on the floor, it was Shepherd on the floor. Shoot 'em in the face, cause he's on the fucking floor. Shepherd on the floor, it was Shepherd on the floor. Got his ass bowed down, Shepherd on the floor. Thugs on the floor, we got thugs on the floor. Shoot 'em in the face, cause it's thugs on the floor. Thugs on the floor, we got thugs on the floor. Shoot 'em in the face, cause it's thugs on the floor. Thugs on the floor, we got thugs on the floor. Beat 'em with the gun. Damn, they're getting fucked up. Shepherd on the floor, it was Shepherd on the floor. Shoot 'em in the face, cause he's on the fucking floor. Shepherd on the floor, it was Shepherd on the floor. Shoot 'em in the face, cause he's on the fucking floor. Shepherd on the floor, it was Shepherd on the floor. Shoot 'em in the face, cause he's on the fucking floor. Shepherd on the floor, it was Shepherd on the floor. Shoot 'em in the face, cause it's thugs on the floor. Shoot 'em in the face, cause it's thugs on the floor. Alright, here we go. Thugs on the floor, we got thugs on the floor. Shoot 'em in the face, cause it's thugs on the floor. Shepherd on the floor, it was Shepherd on the floor. Shoot 'em in the face, cause he's on the fucking floor. Thugs on the floor, we got thugs on the floor. Shoot 'em in the face, cause it's thugs on the floor. Shepherd on the floor, it was Shepherd on the floor. Shoot 'em in the face, cause he's on the fucking floor. Thugs on the floor, we got thugs on the floor. Shoot 'em in the face, cause it's thugs on the floor. Shepherd on the floor, it was Shepherd on the floor. Shoot 'em in the face, cause he's on the fucking floor. Thugs on the floor, we got thugs on the floor. Shoot 'em in the face, cause it's thugs on the floor. Shepherd Welcome to my very first playthrough of a game that is a racing game. That's right, a driving style racing game. I never play them, but this one looked unique enough for me to give it a go. So we are going to begin Motorstorm Apocalypse. Break the walls down! Here we go, Motorstorm. Here we go, Motorstorm.
I just want to race. I don't know what you're talking about. I just want to race. I don't know what you're talking about.
Here we go, Motorstorm.
I just want to race. I don't know what you're talking about. I just want to race. I don't know what you're talking about. I just want to race. I don't know what you're talking about. I just want to race. I just want to race. I don't know what you're talking about. I just want to race. I just want to race. I don't know what you're talking about. I just want to race. I don't know what you're talking about. I just want to race. I just want to race. I don't know what you're talking about. I just want to race. I don't know what you're talking about.
Alright guys, we're about to get started, but I keep being asked or told by people that I should at least set up 2 quick panels on my Twitch page to show the ways to contribute, because right now there's still nothing. And I guess people are like, you're missing out, because some people might want to contribute and they don't want to type the chat command. So I guess I should do this quickly, although I don't know how quick this is going to be. Yeah, Your Beliefs 316 tipped me $1.30, says, you can add a link to your tips page in your Twitch profile. It appears in the About box under your stream along with your Twitter link. Takes less than a minute. Alright, I don't know how to do that. I gotta go look. Give me a second. I'm gonna go over to the computer and try to figure it out. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So, about edit panels, right? Well, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to edit this. No fucking idea. I have no idea. Nothing here. Here? How the fuck would I know what to do with this? Here it is. This? Okay. Social links. Here it is. Okay. Where the fuck's the chat now? Now the chat's gone. There. Alright. Save? I guess it already saved. Okay. Now let's see if that worked. Okay. Here we are. Ugh, okay. I don't know why I'm recording. Oh, that's not good. I never stopped recording the pre-stream. This has all been one ongoing video. Great.